In this video, I'm talking about my top 3 go-to music video lighting setups that are all possible with just one light. So let's get into it. It's often thought that music videos have to be really overly polished. You need hundreds of lights, you need really colorful, cinematic, beautiful lighting, but that is not necessarily true. It's very possible to get really cinematic lighting with just one video light. So let's talk about my top 3 setups that I always use when I'm filming a music video if I only have one light. So the first setup is a really dramatic light, and this is having one light directly to the side of the person on screen. Now, what this does is it creates a really dramatic look because you've got one side of the face lit and the other side of the face is completely dark. Now, this looks really good when you complement this with a nice dark background. So if you have a black pop-up background, then install that or film against a dark wall. It's also really important as well that you're controlling the spill of the light and trying your very best to block off any light that might bounce back onto the one side of the face. So if you're filming in a room and there's loads of white walls, then it's really important that you have something that will block off the light. Now you can get really intricate and buy something called a flag, and a flag is basically just this big black cloth which is used to go next to a person to stop light reflecting back onto their face. But of course you don't actually need a flag. You could just get a black t-shirt, and all you need to do with this t-shirt is just pin it up next to the person talking like this on the opposite side of the face to where the light is, and it would create a really dramatic look on the face. Of course though, if you are filming in a dark location and you've got dark walls surrounding you, then this might not actually be necessary. You might have that really nice dramatic look. But if you've got natural light bouncing back in, or there's this light bouncing off a wall next to you and filling in some shadows, then try and flag this off with a black cloth or a black t-shirt to create this really dramatic look. Now in this scene, I've only actually got one light. I've got the Godox SL60W, and I've got a softbox attached to the light to create really soft, smooth lighting. And that's generally my go-to whenever I'm shooting a music video. I like to use a softer light rather than a harsher, hard light. So a soft light is basically just diffused and a harsh light is not diffused, which basically a hard light gives shadows, a soft light gives a really nice generous roll off on the face. So for this first music video setup, all I've got here is just one light with a softbox directly to the side of the face and then blocking off that light on the other side. So one light and then maybe just a t-shirt or black fabric to block off the other side of the face. That is music video setup 1. My second music video setup is a top light. So it's taking this same light from the side, but it's just putting it directly on top of the person singing. Now you can have a really narrow light and that will create a really dramatic effect, or you could have a large softbox that is completely on top of the person and that would create this really nice soft lighting. Of course as well, you don't actually have to have that light static. If you wanted to, you could actually swing the light around the person in the frame to create this really dramatic light swinging effect within the video. This isn't essential. You could just stick to this static light on top of the person in the frame, but this swinging light does add some more drama into the shot. Just a quick one, before we carry on with the video, I first just want to talk about my Skillshare classes. Now over on Skillshare, I host a bunch of premium filmmaking courses where you can learn all about filmmaking and photography. And if you're looking to get into filmmaking and you're learning about lighting and other filmmaking techniques, then the Introduction to Filmmaking course would be ideal for yourself. This course covers everything you need to know from camera movement to camera settings to lighting and sound and some other really awesome and fundamental techniques that you need to know to create great videos. So if you're interested in checking out that course, then please do consider checking that link in the description below. Now, back to the video. And then of course, lighting setup number 3 is a silhouette. So there's multiple different ways that you can achieve this. So first of all, you could go the traditional route and you can place somebody in front of a bright colored wall, so a white wall for example, and then you shine the light at the wall and then make sure none of that light is spilling back and hitting the person standing in front of the wall. So the best way to prevent this is to ask the person to step maybe 2, 3, 4 steps in front of the wall. You have the light shining directly at the bright wall, and then you want to make sure there is no light casting on them. Then rather than exposing for the person, expose for the wall, so make sure the wall is perfectly exposed, and doing this will bring down the exposure on the person in front of the camera, and that will create a really cinematic look. Alternatively though, you could keep the wall behind the person, but shine it towards the camera. And now, if you've got a harsh direct light, this will give a really harsh silhouette effect. Or alternatively, if you had a softbox, that would give a much softer light, and you could actually use the softbox as a prop in the scene. Now, of course, there are loads of other music video lighting setups, and I would love to create a series where I talk all about loads of different lighting setups, but this was just a very quick preview about what's possible with one video light when you're shooting music videos. I think the problem with a lot of creatives and a lot of beginner filmmakers is they think they need loads of equipment and they need the best equipment to capture great footage. But all you really need sometimes is just one decent light from Amazon, which is £100, and that can give you a really cinematic look in your projects. Of course, as well, don't just stop at these 3 lighting setups. Feel free to play around and experiment with some other lighting setups. But like I said, I would love to do more of these in the future where you can learn more advanced lighting setups. So thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate your support, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. See you there.